Luna here. Today I'm coming out to explain the differences between the Fae and the Dragon Fae. So hold on. Oh, I'm trying to get a good view so you guys can see. Um, Apparently not. Hold on. Okay, well, this is not gonna work the way I wanted. So that's okay. I'll just sit here and explain the differences. I wanted to show y'all, but I guess I'm not going to be able to. First things first, if you like my crown, you can get that link down in the description box below. Okay. The three differences between the Fae and the Dragon Fae, it all stems from first thing first, it has to do with how the Dragon Fae, essentially what they come from. So let's think of it like this. There are fairies, and if you are just now joining us, there are other videos that I have posted about fairies, like the differences between elementals and the differences between nature spirits or the Fae. So if you're coming from that video, you're going to understand this a little bit better. If you're not, I would recommend pause this, go watch that, and then come back. Because the fairies and the Dragon Fae have similar traits in terms of abilities when it comes to prophetic insight, but the first difference is how wisdom is gained. With the fairies, it's more hands-on, you learn type of energy as you're working with them. The Dragon Fae is more of they have already experienced that, so here is the wisdom they're going to share with you. Wisdom they have already incurred, okay, that they're trying to like help you with as you're going along your path. So you're not just like la-di-da learning karma along the way. Whereas the Fae will tell you, well, I mean, yeah, like they'll be like, yeah, it is karma, but you know, they'll kind of go in between that. For example, sometimes it's not always about karma though with them, but that is an example. So wisdom applied versus wisdom earned. Let's put it that way. Because wisdom applied is like, to me, with working with the fairies in the moment, whereas wisdom learned is directly from the Dragon Fae in terms of advice. And I love how, as I said that, this teardrop here like shined. So that tells me I'm definitely on the right path. And also there's something else that the Dragon Fae are very particular at, and it has to do with transformation, because dragons in terms of working with them is also transformational work, but it is not for the faint of heart, just like working with the Fae. The Fae are lighthearted, but they can also be kind of tricky, so you have to watch yourself with them. With the Dragon Fae, it's not like that. They see things from a much higher purpose, so it's not going to be about tricky or anything like that. It's more or less going to be like about, okay, here you are on your path. You're coming to work with me for advice. Here's how we're going to get this done. Okay, here's what I can tell you that I know that you are experiencing, but here's how we work through that. That is more Dragon Fae in terms of how working with them goes down, versus with the Fae, it's like, okay, we're going to trial and error here. So which is sometimes it's fun though, trial and error with the Fae, but sometimes we don't have time for that, and they know that, so they'll always know when you have time and availability. Same with the Dragon Fae. Usually what I love about working with the Dragon Fae too is, in the fairies, they cut through the BS, but the Fae will be like, okay, we have time to hang around and play for a bit. The Dragon Fae are more serious. They're more like, yeah, you need to take time and go have fun and go enjoy the human experience, but keep this in mind that this issue is something that you are going to have to face eventually. Like they're kind of like that real talk wisdom type of person that you go to in your everyday life, who's like, bro, this is going to happen either way. Like, do you want to continue to live in that illusion, or are you going to come back to me when you're ready? You know what I mean? And they're not like emotional. And that's the third point. the difference between working with the Dragon Fae versus the fairies is emotions are important. No matter what you do in magic, no matter what it is, whether it's divination, craft, like spell casting, conjure work, because sometimes spell casting and conjure are not the same, or the divination you use, like runes, astrology, tarot, communicating with your guides. Emotion is always, always, always important. Okay. But we're told, not to get emotional, especially when we cast, because people can get hurt. The Fae, on the other hand, I love them so much because they are emotional beings and they have strength in that. They see and recognize the strength in emotions, but they are known to be highly emotionally reactive, which is what makes them so scary in terms of working with them, because it's like one wrong move and it's, oh my God, like, oh, like, all kinds of stuff happens. But usually they know when someone is coming from a space of disrespect and then they act that way. Most people don't realize that. So, because it's like not just like, oh, any little infraction. No, it usually has to do with, no, this person has willingly infracted on me because they're just being a jerk. And now I'm going to let the vengeance of the Fae come out. That's usually how it works. But with the Dragon Fae, they're very laid back. They are extremely laid back, even in their emotions, which is the crazy part. Because when you work with them, you're like, wait, so like you do take offense to that or you don't? And they're like, well, it's all in the eye of the beholder. How you perceive versus how I perceive is da 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 da. And then they kind of, give their little explanation. And here's the thing: they validate emotions. That's their strength, though. They validate emotions, but they take time to react on them because they're so busy processing all of the wisdom that they're trying to gain from a learning moment. And that's one thing I do love about working with the Dragon Fae is everything is a learning moment. I mean, no matter what you do, whether you work with the Dragon Fae or not, or the Fae or spirit or your spirit guides, thing that comes to us from spirit that is guided to us is essentially a learning curve. It's a learning moment. I always say that because you'll never learn the same thing twice with spirit. And especially if you learned it the first time. Now, if you didn't learn it the first time, yeah, you'll keep getting that lesson. Whereas the Dragon Fae are like, you've already kind of been through this before, like they're quick to be like, don't you remember? And you're like, oh yeah, I do remember that. And they'll be like, did you learn from it? Yeah. Are you ready to make your opinion on this? Like they kind of help guide you more or less forming your own opinions, which I think I love working with the Dragon Fae even more because they don't have to exert power unless they absolutely must and have to. It's super rare for them to just exert power because they know that exerting too much power, they lose strength. So they're busy going through their wisdom and working through things rather than using the knowledge they've already gained rather than exerting themselves too much and losing strength in that. So that is 3 ways you can tell the difference between working with the Dragon Fae and working with the fairies. So if you liked this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, guys. Come on. You got to like my content if you enjoy it. If you don't, then sayonara. I have other things to do, and so do you. I'm not going to be butthurt. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not. Like other people might, but I'm not because I'm me and I love me. And I love doing what I do. That being said, if you would like a reading with me, if you would like a session in terms of an oracle card reading, a tarot card reading, an astrology reading, I do runes and dream interpretation as well. Sign up for my waitlist for those services. You will get 30% off on your first reading. I also have a Dragon Fae reading and I have a fairy blessing reading available sign up on my schedule or wait list for that. I may have it just go ahead on the wait list and then I'll schedule you guys out, but I will apply that 30% to your session. For either one, just because I want you guys to get the full benefit. So just letting y'all know. And if you would like to get a coaching package with me as your intuitive life coach, I have a 3-session package and then a 6-session package. I also have my 3 courses available. I have a how to work with Venus, what tools to work with her. That's a mini course down in the description box below. I have a dream course. So if you're wanting to learn more about dreams and lucid dreaming, definitely click on that down in the description box below. If you are wanting to work more with the fairies and you're wanting to learn how the ins and outs of it and all of that, this is based on my personal practice. I've worked with them for my whole life long. So I'm giving y'all my how-to ins and outs. I have a course for that down in the description box below. And if you would like to sign up for my email list, you are more than welcome to down in the description box below. And other than that, guys, I love y'all so very much. I'm gonna go ahead and take a break, take a rest, and I will see you next time for our next video, which is gonna be, hold on one second. 3 reasons why the Libra moon is so powerful. So other than that, I will talk to you later. I love y'all so very much. Bye, my loves.